going to start running on the chassis, and when that starts happening, that truck is really going to start slowing down. But again, just continuing on, a lot of folks on the road today. Now he's got to do that against traffic thing again. It is just dangerous for anybody that's out there right now. Even though that vehicle moving relatively slow, you know, you just don't want to see him careen into a pedestrian or anything like that. Now we're going to be going eastbound on Olive Street, so back over the 405. You notice he's not getting on any freeways, so I kind of wonder, yeah, maybe he's looking for a spot where they know or they have an idea or somebody's in the area that they can jump out and run to. But right now I got to work with Dylan once again. We got to get across LAX, and he's hearing me. He's actually telling me we're waiting for permission to cross. So it's going to be a few moments or two, but he's making a U-turn again as I'm hearing it. There he is. Yep, that's correct. And he's making a U-turn, so he's heading back the same way. So he's westbound once again. We're going to lose him behind that hotel. But you just got to wonder. It's, you know, right? And it seems like, you know, yeah, it almost, he's staying in this area. And I don't think that, you know, a lot of times we'll hear like, oh, you know, oh, here we go. And change his mind. Nope, no, he's not. Nope. Yeah, so, and again against traffic right there as he just continues to elude these officers. But LAPD, they have the opportunity, an opportunity to do that pit maneuver on this one, but it's just because of that dangerous situation inside that vehicle that they're not going to be doing that. And now I have to let Dylan know I'm sure he's keeping up. But yeah, he's staying on the other side of the airport, so as soon as we can cross, we should be able to cross and get over and get a little closer. You know, that is the big question, and a lot of we talk about pursuits all the time, and people say that it's like, well, why don't they, and you know, one of the things is like we're not in that position. We're not that officer that's behind the wheel of that cruiser that's right behind him, and of course, you know, they want to do what they can to get these things taken care of, and as quickly as possible. They want to catch the bad guys, trust me, but again, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're in harm's way. You're directly in harm's way. And so that's usually what's going on. And of course, the number one thing for any a law enforcement officer is to protect the public. So again, they have to weigh these options, and they have to take care of what's going on. They have to take care of themselves. But right now, though, this suspect or suspects possibly inside this vehicle continuing on, they're going westbound. I feel Skyfox moving. I'm looking out the window. I'm going to be a lot happier when we're back over it, but we're south of LAX. This is happening north of LAX. We're meant to be over there, and we're going to be a lot closer in just a few moments. Yeah, we are literally directly over LAX right now, and you can see him slowing down, and it looks like he's trying to make another turn. You know, look at that front wheel. You really get an idea that whole front suspension is gone. So this thing is just dragging along right there, that front wheel not even turning, making his way into a neighborhood out here. Let's get a little bit of wider shot. You know, and it's just continuing on. Let me get you the information that you guys want right there on the road. But, you know, he's in a neighborhood, so you got to wonder if he's here for a reason. Is he going to jump out? Is he near some place where he's got friendly people in the area that might be able to help him hide, or, you know, talk him into just giving himself up? That truck definitely just coming apart right there. Yeah. Yeah, and in this time now, you know, you were saying somebody in the back seat. I definitely see somebody in the passenger seat right there, and, you know, just making his way through this neighborhood. Still those really slow speeds out here, but again, the fact that this is an armed and dangerous suspect in there, possible attempted murder, they are going to take this very, very carefully. Even if this thing comes to an end, like that truck just stops running, it might turn out to be a standoff. But right now, just look at that damage. It's amazing that truck is still just kind of pushing along right there. And you can see one person in the passenger seat. Of course, we have the driver, of course. But you were saying that somebody might be in the back seat, and with that heavy tint, I really just can't see it right now. Yeah. It definitely. You know, that might be part of it too. Maybe he is really pushing it, and this is all that truck is going to give right now. It's probably dragging on the frame. That wheel not even turning, kind of just flopped over to the side. So you know, you got to wonder what it sounds like inside that truck too. That must just be just an unbelievably loud in there. And then of course there's see this thing making these turns every now and then, but the straightaways is probably what this person wants, because that's what at least it seems to have some control about. But we're continuing on out here. We're still very, very close to the airport. This pursuit continuing. LAPD right behind it. They have a helicopter in the air as best they can, much like Skyfox, and continuing on right now. And I think Dylan was trying to get a hold of me. Just 1 second. What's up? Yeah, well, right now we're back on Century Boulevard, and I'm sure anybody that drives to the airport realizes exactly where we are. He's heading back towards the airport right now. And, you know, this is the thing. We've heard this in the past, like, you know, again, when you talk with your friends and they're like, oh, why don't they just drive to the airport then? Well, you know what? If he drives to the airport, there are plenty of cameras out there. A truck with 3 tires making all that noise, grinding along, it's going to get noticed. So if he's thinking about getting into the airport to try to escape, that is probably not going to happen. And also, you have to think, the airport police definitely notified about this, and they have the ability to lock down or stop the incoming traffic. There he goes. He did not go in. He's back onto, I believe, onto Sepulveda Boulevard right there, and just continuing on. But this is going to be one of those things. No, he is. He's actually trying to get into the airport right now. So this is going to be, yes, definitely driving into the airport right now. So this is one of those ones where you just got to kind of wonder, if he gets out and runs into one of those terminals, you know, airport police definitely knows about this. But I'm hearing them talk about it right now. They're talking about he's on the arrival side. I'm going to try to get this the best we can. I'm sure Dylan is going to try to get us back over the complexes. If this thing continues, we can keep an eye on it. But right now, though, the last we saw him making his way into the airport on the arrivals level. Nope. Well, right now he's made a U-turn and made his way back on the streets out here. We're working our way back out of the airport. Thank goodness for that. But yeah, I could just imagine what that would have been like, and people trying to catch their flights. It would have been very chaotic for sure. But the truck's slowing down right now. Looks like we're coming back up onto Sepulveda Boulevard, slowing down, and then making his way through there. And what's he going to do? Looks like he's continuing on wrong side of the road, and he's staying on Century, making his way back basically the same direction he just came from. You know, yes, you know, but look at that. Look at the pitch on that truck right now. It is just completely nose down. It's dragging through dragging through the asphalt right there. Wrong side of the road. You got folks that are just kind of there. You go. He just corrected it. You just got to kind of wonder, you know, a lot of these folks just coming to Los Angeles, maybe tourists, and they're making their way back over to the airport, and they see this kind of crazy going on. Welcome to LA, right? Welcome to Los Angeles. But we're continuing to see it. He's making his way past all those high rises and hotels. We're going to see if he pops out right there. But that truck is just, I'm just amazed. It just keeps on going. And look at that pitch. Look at those rear wheels. This thing is just totally nose down right now. Yeah, it's a yeah. He's been going like this for a minute, and you just got to kind of wonder how much longer that truck is going to put up with that. They got a lot of traffic right there. The last we saw him was right there behind that Hilton. We're going to keep an eye on it. I got an ear on the scanner as well. There they are, making their way through the traffic, and looks like we are on the correct side of the road, but that truck's still just kind of pushing along down there as we're making our way on Century Boulevard. We're eastbound, so we're heading back out towards the 405 right now. You can see all that traffic. He's got nothing he can do. He's got nothing he can do right there. Looks like, was that a Ferrari? Oh, he just crashed into a Ferrari. Look at that. Oh, that's painful. Oh, and that guy's not happy either. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's just as good as a Ferrari. It was an Audi A8. But anyways, yeah, it looks like some reason the truck is slowing down now. Doors are open. There they go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's trying to carjack somebody. No. I don't know. You know what? I think this is a friend. This has to be a friend. They're ripping through traffic. The driver of that vehicle jumped in the back seat of that thing. Looks like some sort of a Mercury. Hang on. Dylan, we got to stay with this. Okay. He's eastbound on Century, but now I can't. We got to find out if he gets on the freeway. You know what? Right now, I'm going to try to stay with this car. Hang on. There he is. Got him. Thank you. Yeah, got it. It's eastbound on Century. Century Boulevard, and this thing is moving along at a good clip. You know, this is somebody that was waiting for that person. So, you know, this is one of those ones where this is not just a pursuit. This is not just somebody, just one of those regular deals. That driver of that car is now aiding and abetting. This is a big deal. LAPD right behind him right now. Again, they're probably going to be in that same situation where they can't do that pit maneuver. The driver of this vehicle driving very dangerously, extremely high speeds at some points. Right now, though, I don't know if those numbers are correct because we're actually on our digital extender right now, so those numbers for the speedometer might be off. Making a turn there, staying in this residential neighborhood, though we know it, we saw it, the driver of that Avalanche jumps out, gets into the back seat of this car, and so this person definitely was waiting for them. This is not just a random person. This isn't a carjacking. This is somebody that was waiting for them, and now took that suspect. And again, in pursuit, you can see it. We're going to be on Maple Street. LAPD right behind him, right there. And those other two folks, what is going on here? What is going on there? You saw that other officer just kind of swap position. So maybe they are going to try to do a pit, be aggressive, try to take this. Oof. Yes, this is, we went from extremely slow, almost where I was less worried about the public. Right now, I'm extremely worried. These are high speeds, crazy maneuvers right there, getting very close to a lot of vehicles, and the speeds, just the crazy driving, the reckless driving just continues. LAPD staying behind it right there. You got one unit just right on his tail, but right now, though, this pursuit continues. The driver of that truck, probably the suspect that they were looking for, seeing how that he jumped out like that and got into the backseat of this car. Right now, though, continues on. We're in a residential neighborhood. We're going to be in the Inglewood area. LAPD in pursuit, high speeds, extremely dangerous. And it continues on out here, making their way. looks like we're going northbound. I got to work with Dylan, see if we can get at least a little bit closer, because he's definitely outside the LAX area, and it doesn't look like we're... Oof. You know, that might have been it. Maybe they were just biding their time, trying to get into a situation where that the driver of this vehicle was close enough to meet with that person in that avalanche and then have that opportunity to jump into that car. Just give me 1 second. I got to talk with Dylan here, and we got to make a plan so we can stay with it. Right. Yeah, because he's definitely going way away from LAX. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa! But you know what? I always say that. You know what? I am happy just watching a lot of these. Yep. Whoop. We gotta move, man. I'm at the end of lens. Yeah, yeah, it's 6, 7 squad cars following him right there. Okay. It's approaching 4th Avenue right now. You can see right there that we have the street maps up. I don't have to give you locations. But this continuing on, and he seems to be in a residential neighborhood, and he's been making blocks out here. We're trying to move Skyfox a little bit closer just so we can get a little bit better pictures. We are really far away from this. Now, I understand one of our good friends at the station just gave us the information. They did get those 2 other people in custody. I believe they were 2 females that were in that car. They got them into custody, but right now that driver, that's the one that's still inside this car, and he is not driving that vehicle. That is what is so bizarre about this. He made a phone call. He got somebody there to meet them, and then have them basically meet them in that area, and then jumped into the back seat of that car. LAPD, they are really, really doing what they can to stay with this car. You can see the SUVs, even the LAPD ones, hitting those bumps out there, getting a little bit of air. Continuing on, we're going to be back on Manchester, I believe, but this pursuit continues. And again, sorry about the distance. It's just been in one of those spots where doing what we can to stay with it. Right now, though, this older SUV continues to keep those officers at bay. I would almost venture to say, I'm not sure, is that a Lincoln, like an old, some sort of Lincoln product? But right now you can see it continuing on, picking up those high speeds in these smaller neighborhoods. Whenever that happens, I always worry, not just about pets, but also definitely about people. People are out on the roadways. You're not expecting somebody to do 60 miles an hour in front of your home unless you live on a major street. Yep. Yeah, a lot of kids are at home right now, making his way. At least you see him slowing down a little bit as he's making his way out onto what looks like to be a major street out there. But continuing on now, and then you can see it just gets onto those straightaways, just hammers it, trying to keep that distance between those officers. The deal is hopefully this does not end poorly. These high speeds, that kind of driving. Of course, he's probably looking behind him, wondering about where those officers are. But right now, we're still in we're in the South Los Angeles, so So we're out of Inglewood. I'm looking at the streets myself. We're on St. Andrews and 85th Street. So we're back in the LA area right now. But this vehicle continues to elude officers, LAPD in pursuit. The person that's in the back seat of this car, now we know it's the back seat, is the person that was in that avalanche, driving that avalanche. So I'm starting to wonder if that was the person that of interest that they had all along had their eyes on, because they are making every effort to get this guy into custody right now. LAPD on the ground in force, and I'm also hearing them talking about other officers in the area. So when this does come to an end, you will see a lot of officers just mysteriously appear because they know what's going on. They're staying in the area, and of course they want to do what they can to get this suspect into custody. And of course they've got a lot of questions for that driver, and I'm sure there's some charges going to be pressed against him as well, or her. You know, spike strips would be something that they could use, but you just don't know where he's going to be. And, you know, and that's the thing also, not every LAPD unit has spike strips in the trunk. So they have to get somebody that has them, then they have to figure out where he's going. There's a lot of logistics involved in something like that. Not saying it can't be done, but just to have it done, that's going to be a bit of a trick. Right now, though, we're making their way, coming up on Vermont, as I understand it. So we're actually back over by, hopefully, oh, he went through Vermont. So we're going to be getting closer and closer to the 110 freeway. Hang on just one second. Dylan, can we just go over to the 110? He's clearly talking with LAX right now, but we're making our way back out towards the 110 right now. So hopefully, if he gets onto the 110, we'll be able to get a little bit closer. We can clean these shots up. I'm just really, my big worry right now is my job, meaning that we need to see how this thing ends and where these suspects go. So right now, that is my big concern. But right now, a lot of folks on the ground, they are maybe not in danger as it would be. Yeah, but definitely these high speeds, that kind of reckless driving, getting our way into the South Los Angeles area. Take a look at that right there. That's a lot of traffic. Oh, and a bicyclist. Now he's through Figueroa, so you know he's getting up right by the 110 freeway and squeezing through, and it looks like those were the on ramps right there. So, and what's going to happen here? Well, you know what? He can't do the rope-a-dope because LAPD is right behind him. So he's going to pop out. He popped out the other side. Let's see if he gets onto the freeway. There he is. And they're saying it too on the radio right now. Lots of traffic. You see him driving. Looks like he's driving over the center divider. Now he's on the wrong way, making his way over to Broadway. But this pursuit continues out here. And hang on. That's him right there. It looks like, what is he doing? Get out of the parking lot. Right. Yeah, going right through the Bank of America right there. A lot of pedestrians out that way. Keeping an eye on it. He's behind the building right now. You can see these officers are pretty clever. You can see some of them waiting in the wings down there just in case he comes back the other way. But right now it's getting more and more difficult for us to shoot it. I got to work with Dylan just a little bit. Can we go a little bit south? Can we park over the 110? Okay. All right. So these are now, and he's continuing. It looks like making his way back onto 85th Street, and it looks like we're continuing eastbound on 85th Street through the South Los Angeles area. Extremely high speeds, very dangerous situation for anybody on the ground down there, and this pursuit continues. LAPD in pursuit. They've got 2 helicopters over it right now, LAPD helicopters, and a number of officers right behind it. And then not to mention, they probably have more officers in the area just waiting to do whatever they need to do to bring this to an end. Yeah. you just gotta wonder what, you never can figure out what these guys are thinking, or gals, and just the idea is what, basically what's going on is they're just trying to stay away from law enforcement. They always think like, I'm going to be the one that gets away, and we rarely see them actually get away, especially with a situation like this. Right now, LAX is keeping us at a distance. They're making their way southbound. I'm going to work with Dylan, my pilot, again, see maybe we can get over the 110, head south, because he's be coming up on the 105 here shortly. But now. Well, we're hearing right now that it is going to be it's a female driver, that we're hearing that right now. We hear they're 92nd in Avalon. I'm trying to, and now they're over by Manchester, so I'm trying to, you, hang on. Um, you know what, guys and gals, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find this again. It is like a needle in a haystack. We've got all these new rules going on where we're not allowed to be near the LAPD helicopters. Westbound Manchester from Avalon, so he's got to be coming up somewhere right in here. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We'll see if we can pick this thing up here in just a second, but he's going to be coming up on Main, San Pedro. So he's got to be like right here somewhere, right in this area. There's Manchester. There's the cop cars. Yep. It is driving me crazy personally too. Trust me. I'm trying. There he is. There he is, right there. There he is. So he's on. It says 84th Street in Maine, but I have a feeling that we're on Manchester. But it's continuing on there. We're at such an angle that it makes it very difficult to see anything. LAPD, or LAX, not allowing us to move. And that's something that we should be talking to them about maybe later on. But at any rate, making his way over here to Broadway. We'll see when he pops out on Broadway. There he goes. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Eastbound Manchester, so he turned around and he's going back the other direction. So Maine and Manchester. Yeah, he made a U-turn. There he goes. Yep. There he goes. So he's southbound on Main right now. There you go. You can see the top of the roof as he's making his way farther and farther away from us. But yes, I heard that it was a female driver. That's what I heard just momentarily ago on the. I heard it on the radio, so I can't really say for sure. But right now he's making his way southbound Main. And I'm sure, Dylan, we're going to move south as soon as we can, right? Okay. But if we stay over the 110, how's that a problem? Okay. Oof. course. Pardon me? Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, there's got to be. You know what? Should have counted them. It looked like something out of a movie. It seems like almost every officer in the division is in pursuit of that vehicle right there. We're getting allowed to get a little bit closer now, so that's a huge plus. And I've been just passing cop car after cop car after cop car. I have yet to see the actual suspect vehicle. I think it is right there. Now we're making our way back into another major, going right through another major. Thank goodness that was a green light, and it's continuing on now. I believe we are on Avalon right now, and I'm sorry, 99th Street. 99th Street, we're heading eastbound, so we're making our way out of the LAX area. Thank goodness for that. And you can see that vehicle continues to drive. We might be able to get a little bit of a better shot when we get close enough and see if it is actually a female driver. We understand that it may be. I heard that it was a female driver, and this person. This wasn't a carjacking. It doesn't seem like a carjacking at all. Who knows what's going to come out later on. But the suspect from that Avalon jumped into the back seat of this vehicle right here, and they took off like nobody's business. They just and we saw speeds approaching 100 miles an hour at some points on a lot of the major streets out there. Now we're heading southbound Century Boulevard. You got somebody out in the roadway. What? Yeah. And he got a solid red, solid red, solid red, solid red, solid red. He's making a right. Nope. Whoa. Yeah, he slid a little bit, kind of lost control trying to get around that bus. That older SUV, giving it its props. It is an older vehicle, but at least it's going, right? But LAPD, they are in pursuit. That vehicle seems to be at least slowing down a little bit. We're not seeing those very, very high speeds that we saw earlier on. Maybe it's fatigue. That's something else that we never talk about. That driver, you've got a lot of adrenaline. You've got a lot of push in there when you're driving like that. You're trying to stay alert and do all that. And in your body, once that adrenaline goes, you really start to feel that slowing. That might be what we're seeing right here. Hopefully that moment of soberness, as it might be, the driver might be like, what am I doing? We need to stop this before somebody gets hurt. But it's continuing southbound, and we're making our way. It's still on Century, 109th Street. We're going to be getting really, really close to the 105 freeway here in a moment or two. And hopefully he's going to make his way south on that, or keep going. And we're going to be able to get, fly this like a regular pursuit where we can get at least a little bit closer. Right now, though, it's continuing on, and we can see it, but you just worry about all those pedestrians out there. You worry about people that are just going about their business, and then you've got somebody being chased by LAPD, and for what? That person, yes, it is a serious crime, but why would you want? It is a lot of questions, and we're not here. This is not the moral hour for sure. Okay, so he's making his way. It looks like he's heading eastbound, so he's going to be actually getting closer to us right now, and you can see. Moving along right there, we're in the city of Watts in the Los Angeles area, and the speed's definitely slowing down, but still a little bit of that reckless driving. And LAPD, a number of them right behind them, and we also know a number of them on the streets nearby, making another turn right there. We got somebody on a bicycle and going underneath the 105 freeway. So we're making our way southbound, and hopefully we're going to be able to get a little bit closer now, and we'll keep an eye on it. But this pursuit continues as we're making our way out of the LAPD area into the sheriff's area as we're entering the Compton area right now as 118th Street. That can't be. No, we're on Success. We're on Success moving southbound into Compton. No, he made an eastbound turn. They're not really keeping their distance. They just don't. They're just not able to do a pit maneuver. They don't want to do that pit maneuver. Why didn't he pop out? What happened? Where did he go? Great, fantastic. I thought he was staying on 120th. Nope, it looks like he's going. He turned around, going back the other way. He got me on that one. Running through another red light right there. And they're heading back over towards the 105 freeway. But you can see that vehicle definitely slowing down. That's if anything, that's going to be a plus for what's going on. We're not doing 60 to 80 miles an hour right now. We're kind of just doing 40 to 50, which is still extremely dangerous, especially when you're running red lights. Making another turn right there. Looks like we're heading back out onto Imperial Highway. And looks like we're heading westbound on Imperial. LAPD, let's get a look at how many officers are actually right behind him right there. So, it just continues. The line just continues. Yep. And LAPD, they're talking on the radios. They're going to be in that area. They want this thing to come to an end peacefully. But this car continues to just go and elude officers from the LAPD. They could do the pit maneuver. We've seen a couple of opportunities where they could do it. Now look at this. Really busy making those turns. This is where the lights and sirens really come in handy. When you come up to an intersection like that, that means everybody's hearing those lights and sirens, so they're looking around, and if they're not moving off to the right, at least they're stopped. And that's going to be a big plus. It's probably going to save somebody's injury and or damage to their vehicle. Right now, though, continuing on, you can see it right there, LAPD right behind them. We're on Imperial Highway. We're making our way back over to the 110 freeway. Hopefully this person isn't trying to talk that driver into going back over to LAX, because, again, we saw, yes, it was complicated. It was difficult, but it definitely did not solve any of the problems. LAPD, just because they don't have a helicopter above it doesn't mean those cars can't drive there. They can drive there. They can do whatever they need to do, and they're going to stay right behind it, and they're going to make sure that suspects right now are in custody. That driver now is suspect at aiding and abetting. And, of course, you can see those speeds kind of just slowing down a little bit. But a lot of folks out today, a lot of folks watching Fox, I can tell you that. They're all out there on the side of the road just getting a gander what's going on. And, of course, that's not what LAPD wants. And definitely do never try to get involved in any of this stuff or try to bring that thing to an end. Right now, though, this SUV continues on. We're on Imperial Highway, making our way over to the 110 freeway. No, not at all. And it just kind of shows you how important this is for LAPD, because they have that number of squad cars there. They may be, the thinking might be along the lines of somebody aided and abetted. Who else is going to aid and abet? What are they going to have to deal with when this comes to an end? So that's probably one of the reasons why they're allowing that. A lot of times they will only allow 2 or maybe 3 vehicles to actually be in pursuit, depending upon the number of persons inside that vehicle. But in this case, this is almost a parade of vehicles right there. Making a turn right now onto Broadway. Looks like we're going to be heading northbound on Broadway. We're back in that LAX area, so it's going to be difficult to stay with it. But at least Broadway is a straightaway, so we can keep an eye on it, maybe get behind it and just look straight up the street. But right now the pursuit continues. You can see the shadow for the LAPD helicopter that is above. I understand that there's another one that's nearby. Maybe there's 2 of them over it. Dylan is confirming that right now. So they're doing that also just to make sure that when this comes to an end, that they have eyes on both those suspects when they get out and run. They want to make sure both of them are going to be in custody when this comes to an end. Right now, though, 40, 50 miles an hour northbound on Broadway. We're making our way out of the Watts area. We're well established in the South LA area right now, and just continuing northbound. Hopefully he gets all greens, and there are none of these issues where we get up into traffic again, and this driver starts making those dangerous decisions. Yeah, it could be. It could be, and it is Friday, and it is also Good Friday for that matter as well. A lot of folks staying home today in that observance, and then of course Easter is this weekend. Right now, though, it looks like we're setting up for what looks like a left turn. That doesn't mean that's what he's going to do. There we go. He's just getting around that traffic that stopped at the light, and there we go, making that turn again. This is where those lights and sirens come in handy. A lot of the folks down there, they hear those lights and sirens, and they do what they need to do. They stop. And or try to pull over to the side of the road. So this is continuing northbound right there. You can see it. We're still, I think, portions of this is all LAPD's area right now. So right now, continuing northbound. Whoop. Yep, continuing northbound. I just heard the airship call it. So there you go. And I'm going to work with Dylan. Maybe we can get a little bit to the right, just to get those trees out of the way. Okay. Okay. So this is where we're allowed to be right now. So we're going to keep an eye on it from where we can. But this pursuit continuing out here. This driver catching a lot of these red lights. You see it right there, another solid red. LAPD, the lights and sirens, probably alerting a lot of these folks to what's going on. Northbound on Broadway. 2 people in that vehicle. One of them from that avalanche. We understand possible attempted murder suspect. And then the driver of this vehicle now aiding and abetting that person from that avalanche, because clearly this vehicle was waiting for him when they stopped, and they jumped out and got into the back seat, and this pursuit continued. Northbound on Broadway, making a turn right now on 89th Street. Don't know if they know this area, don't know what the plan is, but right now this just continues as a pursuit. LAPD behind it, very little they can do to stop it. But they are probably starting to work some plans, maybe changing up their ideas. They might try spike strips. They might try something else. You know, I think they might be trying to do the spike strips right now. We'll see how this plays out. Coming up onto another major, we don't see a lot of traffic out there. We have a bad angle right now. But we're coming up on San Pedro. Looks like he's going to be going northbound on San Pedro. You got LAPD right behind it. That would have been another good spot to do that pit maneuver, making that slow turn as they're making that transition, and no other civilians in the area. But again, they haven't been certified. That's certified. They're all certified. Well, the driver that would do the pit would be certified. Hey, take a look at this. A lot of traffic right there. A lot of traffic as you're approaching Manchester, and slowing down. At least we see that. And then making his way through that intersection right there. But you know, that's the thing. They might try to change this up a little bit. They might try to bring this to an end with a pit maneuver, but they also might use spike strips. You did mention it in the past, and believe me, they are trying to be proactive. Let's just leave it at that. If the opportunity arrives, they will try to use those spike strips for sure. Yeah, yeah, those were scary. Those were scary moments indeed. Whenever I see a suspect drive into a parking lot, be it a grocery store, or in this case it was Bank of America, you've got pedestrians walking around. You know those folks are not thinking about fast cars driving driving through those parking lots. Just my blood runs cold. It really does. You just don't want to see anybody get hurt. LAPD, definitely the public safety is number one. And also, got to be clear about this, even that suspect's safety is on their minds. Continuing on, you can see that they keep moving. They're talking about something that they might have recovered from the other vehicle. Maybe somebody from our desk can clarify what they just said right there, because if there's a possibility that they did recover a weapon in that other vehicle, and there's a possibility that this person not armed, they might be able to do something like a pit maneuver. You can't really see it that well, but we're true. True. Very true. And these are the things that officers are trained to think about. These are the things that officers, that, this is what keeps officers alive. You just think about it like that. And, so they are not going to do anything that's going to put themselves directly in harm's way, but they want to bring this to an end safely. They want to make sure that everybody is okay at the end. But right now, slow moving. We're passing a school right there, but you did mention it is definitely spring break right now. But that doesn't mean they might not have summer programs. But you can see it like we're farther and farther away. We're creeping up. We're staying with it the best we can. But where this person's going, that's the big question, right? Definitely. Yep. Well, there's definitely not much of a direction, that is for sure. But you know that with that avalanche, and when the driver was in there, they definitely made contact or were talking to this person. That wasn't just random. So they made some sort of deal. They tried, this driver of that SUV tried to get as close as possible, and then you saw it. I'm not sure what Audi it was, to be precise. I'm sure some of my car buddies are going to really ride me on some of that stuff. But it definitely was a nicer high-end Audi, and that SUV, that Avalanche, plowed right into it. I was worried that we had lost it. There we go. So we're approaching another major right there, the roadway running out, so he has to make a turn. It looks like he's made a turn. He's going to be heading westbound, so he's going to be coming a little bit closer to us. We're basically over the 110 freeway right now, and but much slower driving. Much slower driving, that's what we can say right now, but still running every red light that he comes across. We've been in the wrong side, been driving against traffic a couple of times still, so the dangerous driving has not stopped, but at least the speeds have slowed down a little bit. And again, the driver of that vehicle now wanted for aiding and abetting. The passenger inside that vehicle, I believe that's going to be what LAPD was in pursuit for in the beginning. That was the attempted homicide suspect driving that Avalanche, and right now this is the closest we've been, so we're going to see if we can get a better look at the driver. Whoops, there it is. And all I can say is that it does appear to be female. Does appear to be female behind the wheel. So we'll keep an eye on it the best we can, but this pursuit continues on, and this is as close as we've been to this car since this pursuit started. But definitely, why? Why are you doing this? And I was wondering about that. Yes, and I would not be surprised if that was a spike strip, because you had mentioned it earlier on. I was going to say the pothole did some good, huh? But I think it might have been actually a spike strip. I'm not sure how they would have got the rear and not the front, but I think it might have been a spike strip. But you can see it right there. So now that SUV, a little bit disabled, that tire's staying on there for right now. If this continues on, we've seen it so many times in the past, that tire shreds, comes off, he starts rolling on the rims. But you can see that just continuing on. We're on Slauson Boulevard, just making their way. Another right turn that's always the most convenient for that suspect. LAPD, they keep an eye on that stuff too, driving behavior. But right now we're on northbound on Hoover. You can see a lot of the folks in the neighborhood. You can just imagine what all those lights and sirens sound like down there. Seven officers behind that one car. That's going to be making quite a lot of noise. Looks like another right turn. Yes. Wow. So we're keeping an eye on it, slowing down again. Oh, whoop, 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 whoop. Almost. Yeah. And LAPD very, very anxious right now. They're keeping an eye. They're keeping an eye on all the other vehicles that may be in the area. Something might have been following them. Maybe it's some sort of independent media. Maybe not. So they're definitely keeping an eye on everything that's going on around them right now. But you saw that slowing down, almost coming to a stop right there. We got to mark that location, got to figure out that was on 56th Street. So if they make their way back to that area, that might be a spot where that maybe that suspect lives, or maybe where the driver of this SUV lives. So that's something to think about. They did come to a complete stop because the LAPD opened their doors just for a second. Right now, though, we're back on Figueroa, northbound. You got one flat tire. That's going to be driver's side rear. It's still holding on, so you're not riding on the rim yet, but pretty soon that tire is going to come apart, and then things are going to start changing up again. But at these slower speeds, yeah, you just don't know. But the rear wheels are the drive wheels. So if that tire comes apart, and it might actually make that vehicle almost undrivable. So it might give the LAPD the opportunity to bring this to a stop. Yeah. Yeah. That's the big question. That's the big question, and you can see the number of officers just following it, 2, 4, 6, 7. So they have seven. They have 7 officers right there making a turn. I got to take a moment and just because I've said Dylan's name so many times today, and it might have been a little bit in frustration. I don't want anybody to think anything but the fact that Dylan is one of our best pilots out here flying Skyfox. He is the most diligent, and he stays up on things the best he can. He is trying to get us the best shots always. Just know that I appreciate his flying skills and his diligence in the airspace and working with the tower to get us where we need to be to get these shots, even though right now can't see it again. But that is definitely not his fault. Right now, though, we can see that he's making his way back out onto another major. Let's find out if he made a turn. And I think he did. Yes, he did. He's coming right back at us right there. And we're going to get it. Yeah, it works out for us pretty well. Going to keep an eye on that rear tire. I'm just kind of curious if it's, oh yeah, definitely coming apart right now. Yep, yeah, there it goes. So that's gonna create some issues for that driver, and of course that SUV's performance. And but like you said, hopefully this is going to be what kind of brings it to an end safely. You're going to lose that tire, you're going to lose that ability to speed up, and maybe it'll bring it to an end. We've seen them in the past talk about how they can do, that they would be able to do a pit maneuver, especially with a tire missing right there. The tire just beating that truck up. Look at the parts of the bumper coming apart right now. There you go. That was the big part. So now he's basically driving right on that rim. I did hear that they did recover a weapon. So, but like you said too, yes. But they said it was. I'm not 100% on that. I heard the words tossed from the vehicle. So maybe it was going on this one. Maybe the gun. Okay, it was found in the back of the Avalanche. So it was found in the back seat of the Avalanche. So, but it's like you said too. Who says that this driver didn't come just with a ride? Maybe he came with a ride and a gun. So, you just don't want to be that officer right there making those decisions. So and of course the officer that is right there, these are the things they're trained for. These are what they drill into these guys to stay alive on the job. And believe me, LAPD, they're some of our best, and they are bright, and they're trained, and they are today really, really earning their pay. I can guarantee you that, especially that officer that's right behind that vehicle. When they were doing those high-speed driving, and they were weaving in and out of traffic, you just gotta, we get worried. Just imagine what that driver is doing, that officer, and also keeping track of what's going on and keeping up on the radios. These guys and gals are amazing. Right now, though, coming up on Vermont. Oh no, we're on Vermont. Are we on Vermont? Yes, we are on Vermont. Right. Right. You know, I don't know. I don't know, and they just said murder suspect. You know, somebody was saying to me a moment ago about, you know, possibly this was an Uber, and I was like, yeah, I don't think so. But at any rate, now we've got that confirmed that this is not a carjacking, and this person was there on purpose to give that suspect a ride. So right now, though, that ride continues as it would be. LAPD in pursuit. Number of officers right behind it, 2 helicopters above it from the LAPD along with Skyfox, and of course we're continuing on. The speeds have slowed down, that rear tire missing, you know, it's not a front wheel, so that's kind of a plus. Luckily you got a green light at that one, but it's definitely going to slow it down when it speeds up. And that might be a big plus. You know, if this thing can't get out of its own way, or if it starts slowing down, LAPD might have that opportunity to do that pit maneuver, or they're leaving it up to those officers or whoever is the watch commander in charge that are making those calls to allow it or not to allow it. Right now, though, it's a waiting game. LAPD is doing what they can to keep the public safe. The driver of that vehicle doing what she can to elude officers, and the pursuit continues. We don't know how long that car is going to keep up with those three full tires and that one flat on the back, and we don't know how much fuel it has, or we don't know how much. Look, no, come on. That is, yes. You're welcome. Oh, definitely not tame. They're definitely not tame at all. The driver of this vehicle, very aggressive, especially earlier on. We saw those extremely high speeds. We saw those moves where it was extremely dangerous. There was many close calls with this vehicle. That Avalanche, it was driving, well, it had the drive of one of the steering wheels off of it. One of the front wheels were off, so it made it a little bit more difficult to maneuver. But this driver, when that suspect got in, you saw it. That thing tore out of there, and those speeds really picked up. Yes. And they just keep and it just keeps going. That driver, I kind of wonder, maybe that person thinking, maybe this was not the best thing to do on Good Friday. Looks like yes, yeah. Yeah, and it looked like I can't say 100%. I was just wondering. It looked like like she was on her phone texting just a moment or two ago, sending out a text or two, and you just hope that they're not planning on doing that same rope-a-dope where they're trying to get somebody else there, because if that's the case, then you just believe me, LAPD, that might have happened the one time. It's not going to happen again. I can almost guarantee you that. They're going to be on the lookout for something like that. But that vehicle continues to move along right there. You can see it. We got a flat tire, and LAPD. It looks like just one. It looks like the driver's side rear. Looks like that's the only one that's definitely the only one that's flat right now. But yeah, and she was texting, so I'm just hoping they're not trying to set up another one of those, hey, meet us at, or I'm going to get to this corner, because I just don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. That's the only thing I can say right now, and you're just dragging somebody else into a world of trouble. Yeah. Well, it actually is part of it. We always say that with law enforcement, time is on their side. You know, the longer this pursuit goes, the more chance that it might end badly. But in this case, they're talking about actually they're talking about a Crown Victoria. I yeah, you know what? I don't want to take the chance to look, but they're actually talking about one of the units that's in the pursuit to slow down and pull over. There's a Crown Victoria that's following the pursuit. So that yeah, yes, they're worried that this is somebody that's trying to get up, and they might possibly do that same type of situation again. So they actually had one of the units from behind that pursuit to actually stop that. They said it was a Crown Victoria. That's all I heard right there just now. So the helicopter, the airship, the LAPD airship, keeping an eye on vehicles that are in the area, that are staying nearby. So you know, they're really up on it right now, especially with what happened at the end of that Avalon. I'm sorry, that avalanche chase, where this suspect jumped in the backseat of this car. They're continuing on. I guess they are continuing. I'm just kind of looking out the window, so they're continuing westbound. So it's going to make it more and more difficult for us to keep an eye on it. Hopefully, they make a U-turn, come back to where we are. But right now, this pursuit continues, and LAPD. Look at the number of cars that are following it, and of course, yep. Yes. The person was the person was armed. I'm sure that's part of it. The other part of it is the fact that he had this person meet them. So they're probably thinking, you know, where is this going to end? Maybe this person drives to a place where there's a number of people that are, you know, friendly to that suspect. And so they just need more officers to be there at that termination. That, I believe that's probably part of it. But I am hearing them talk about that suspect, the driver of this vehicle, on the phone, and they are concerned about this another meet, as it would be. Like they're going to meet somebody somewhere, and then they're going to try to switch vehicles or do whatever they're going to do. LAPD is going to do everything in their power to not allow that to happen. I can guarantee you that. But right now, making our way in the South LA area, very residential area, and there we go. Sorry, was looking at a street too far north, but and just keeping an eye out right there, see if they go through here or they make a turn. There they are. Was that them? Yeah, that was them. So that vehicle that we were looking at was actually a vehicle paralleling this, and that's what we were talking about earlier on. They're going to have LAPD officers nearby paralleling the pursuit, just in that general area wherever it is. So when it does come to an end, they have extra officers there. So. Yes. Hey, Dylan. Can we wander south? Okay. Let me find out. What's our fuel situation? 45 on station? We got about another 45 in the air. You know, we have not seen anything We have not seen anything as far as the freeways ever with these vehicles, with the second one or the first one. They've been staying on. They've been staying on the streets. I just heard them talking about Century and Van Ness. You probably can see right there as well. We got the streets up right there, so we're trying to locate exactly where he's at. But approaching. Hang on. So they're. Okay, so they're eastbound Century approaching Western. There they are right there. So they're making that turn, so they're going southbound on Western right now. So they're still heading over towards the 105 once again. But like you said, we've not seen them on any of the freeways at all this afternoon. So that vehicle continues to go, even with the 3 tires and the one flat on the driver's side rear. LAPD still behind it. And you can see right there, as I'm lacking on my skills. Sorry about that. We're trying to stay a little bit ahead of it, but we get a glimpse of it every now and then through the buildings. I know this is not the shots that we usually see with these pursuits, but it's been staying in the South LA area, and with these new rules that. You know, that's another story for another time. But we're held at bay, and we basically have to sit out here and try to get the shots that we can. But they're making their way southbound right now. 108th is what I heard just a second ago. So we try to keep ahead of them, and see if we can watch them pop out somewhere down towards the south. Yes, I got IFB. Sorry about that. Yeah. No, not on the highway. We just crossed over the 105 freeway. We're going to be back in the Inglewood area. He's been staying on Western. We still have to stay a little bit farther away. And, you know, if it gets farther south, that's going to be good for us, because then at least we might be able to get a little bit closer. Right now, they're still southbound on Western as the last 122, so we're looking in the right spot, but it's just so far away and out at a distance, and you got so much trees out there, but somewhere right there in that area. There you go. We got a glimpse of a LAPD cruiser. Yeah, we're in the Hawthorne area. And making our way southbound. And just trying to keep ahead of it and use that end of the lens technology. There we go. So, you know, this is one of those things where if you were looking out the window of Skyfox, you could not even make out where this is, even if I tried to point it out to you. But you can see right there a lot of traffic, and let me see if they're going through or they made a turn. Looks like they're going southbound, keeping on going, keeping on. So they're continuing southbound on Western, so we're making our way probably into Gardena by now, as we're staying on Western, continuing southbound. Where they're taking us, well, we're going to find out when we get there. That's the best I can say. I used to say that to my kids all the time. But right now, that driver's keeping the officers at bay. They did have some suspicious vehicle following them for a little bit. They are concerned that this driver might be trying to contact somebody else, and they might be able to do another one of these swap of cars. The LAPD is going to do what they can to make sure that that does not happen. Right now, though, making their way, looks like we got another major coming up, but it seems like cars are stopping, so they got a red light. And continuing on, southbound Western, and definitely in the Gardena area right now. LAPD, they've been chasing this car, well, this one since that swap. But this started, gosh, I don't even know how long ago, when did this start? Yes, definitely. 40 minutes, that is long for LA standards. That is definitely long for LA standards. And you can see that vehicle just continues to drive. That one tire is flat. Was it a spike strip? Well, you know what? I don't know if we're ever really going to find out. Or was it a pothole? Don't really know. But I can tell you that's the only big plus right now for this chase, is that they are down to 3 good tires on that car. You can see the sheriff's department helping out and just kind of blocking traffic because. Yeah, and this is what they do. Law enforcement, they want to keep the public safe. I can tell you, sheriff's units probably are going to be in the area as well now that we are out of the LAPD area. So they're going to be leaning on their brethren in brown, as it would be, because they wear those tan uniforms. But we're making our way south on Western. We're in the Gardena area. We have had a little bit of a tour of the Los Angeles area for sure. But this chase continues. Maybe we can get a little bit better look at that driver. Right now, it looks like both hands are on the wheel, So what is that? 9s and 3s. Yeah. Safe driving. You can see she's very concerned about people around her. And but right now, of course she is. But at least she's not on the phone, because we definitely saw her on the phone earlier on, and then we did hear LAPD talking about that. Yeah. I honestly, sorry about that. I was fighting a little bit of a cold, but yeah, you just don't know. I would venture to say probably texting, just because the window's down. If she was on a speaker, what are you going to hear with that window down? So right now, though, this pursuit just continues. This driver's still just driving. It looks like we're just doing a little bit of a weaving around there. Whoa, a little bit of a hard turn, and those are the things that we just don't want to see. And now she's going the wrong way in traffic. A lot of folks, they hear those lights and sirens. They are coming to a stop. That's what they have. That's what the public does, and it's actually a really good thing, especially when it's a chase like this. Right now, speeds have really, really slowed down, and that's a plus as well. But we're going to keep an eye on what's going on. And, of course, right now, it's just a slow drive down Western as we're making our way south from L.A. into Gardena. And let's see if we make our way down to Palos Verdes, because I think that's where Western ends, right, is down in the Palos Verdes area. That was nice. Classy. Yeah, classy. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just amazed that this wheel is holding on. I mean, it appears that it has some rubber still stuck to the. It seems like the tire part is gone, but the sidewalls are still there. But it is just amazing that it is just holding on as well as it is. Right now, though, this car, they're going. Let me pull up the speedometer real quick. We had it down because we were at the end of our lens and stuff like that. Yeah, that's about right. We're going about 45 miles an hour, 43 miles an hour. That seems to be about right. And these are the speeds that LAPD's been talking about as well. So that's a big plus. Those high speeds have slowed down. LAPD, they're not slowing down. They've got a number of officers still behind it. And I think maybe one of the reasons too why they keep getting an extra officer at the end is because of that fact that they are worried that this person might be trying to get a hold hold of somebody. Somebody might be following them to try to get up closer. And we heard it. I don't know what came of it, but they did stop a vehicle that was trailing the pursuit earlier on. So, was it somebody that was that had nefarious intent, or was it somebody, maybe an independent news person? But right now, it just continues to move along down there. And I'm going to stay a little bit wider on the shots for right now. And the pursuit continues, but at least the speeds are down to what we can at least call normal speeds, 35 miles an hour, as we're coming up on another red light, and at least she slowed down just a little bit. Yes. No. No, I don't. No. No, I don't. Yep. You know what? I can hear you, but and now I have now I actually have mixed minus issues. I can hear myself on the radio as well. We are staying on Van Ness. We just made another turn. You saw that craziness right there. She got off of Western and then made her way onto 190th for a little bit, driving on the wrong side of the road, weaving around a little bit. Now we're making our way back over towards Western. Don't know if that's the plan or not, but you can see that vehicle continues to drive. LAPD, they still right there behind her. That driver has that suspect from that earlier pursuit in the back seat, so now they're in pursuit of her as well. This SUV just keeps on going, and you know what? As long as she keeps those speeds down to what we've been seeing, it's going to be okay. I would venture to say, hopefully, there's not somebody not paying attention, and that when she's running a red light, that will crash into her vehicle as it would be. Right now, though, LAPD right there behind it. Looks like we're making our way back over towards Western. There it is. And we're continuing southbound on Western. So there must be a reason why they're staying on Western Boulevard. So because they were on Western, they got off, and now they're continuing southbound back onto Western Avenue. This is one of those ones where, I would venture to say that driver is going to drive that SUV till it does not drive anymore, meaning it might get stuck somewhere or run out of gas or maybe lose another tire, whatever it is. That suspect the driver is not going to give up. They're going to wait for that vehicle to give up before they do anything. LAPD, they are still well out of their area, but now we're in the Harbor Gateway area. So I think if we keep on going south, they do have a little bit of LAPD down this way as well, especially down in the San Pedro area. But I don't know if we're going to go that far. But right now, we're definitely in the in the Harbor Gateway, so it's going to be sheriffs in this area as well, but LAPD definitely in pursuit. I know the other law enforcement, they're going to be nearby. This driver just being batty this afternoon, just being behind the wheel, just doing what she needs to do to keep those officers that far behind her. But in the end, hopefully nobody gets hurt, but you know that this is going to come to an end with those suspects going into custody. You know, I heard the more pedestrians. I heard the question about staying in the same area. You know, we've watched pursuits sometimes take us on tours of South LA. We get on freeways, we go way out east, we come back, and etc. This one was hanging out in the LAX area, Inglewood area for the longest, and then made its way into South Los Angeles, and now making our way well south of all of that, making our way basically towards the Ranchos Palos Verdes area, or Torrance, depending upon how far south we're going to go. LAPD, well, it looks like we're making a turn. Maybe there is a destination, because this seems to be a pretty random turn right here. We're on 122nd Street, looks like a very residential neighborhood. So LAPD, they're going to stay behind it. You know, they have information about what's going on. A little bit of traffic here. When we get on these residential roads, I always get worried. But there we go. So we're not staying on 122nd. Now we're on Harvard. But you know, where this person goes in the end, really, you know, we might figure it out, we might not, but LAPD, they just want to bring this to an end. They just want to take those two people into custody right now. That passenger wanted for the first pursuit and possibly an attempted homicide, and then the driver of this one who's basically aiding and abetting. That's probably the big charge that's going to be on there, and evading, meaning the pursuit. But right now, that vehicle is still holding on with the 3 full tires. The one shredded one on the back, LAPD in force down there. You can see a number of them. One of the LAPD helicopters overhead, they're making the calls as well, giving these officers on the ground the heads up, at least about what traffic is doing when they get through these intersections. But right now, I'm pretty much like everybody else. You just want to see this come to an end safely, and those 2 suspects go into custody. Well, the only thing I can say, yeah, again, I'm having a lot of issues just trying to hear you right now. But what I can say is that you know, the LAPD, when this thing comes to an end, they are going to treat this as armed suspects inside that vehicle. Even though you know, we heard them earlier on saying that they did have 1 gun in custody. They retrieved that out of that Avalanche. That was the first vehicle that they were in that pursuit with. And but it's like you said, you know, you just don't know. Maybe this person had 2 guns. Maybe this person, you know, the driver of this vehicle brought a weapon. You just don't know. But the fact that the suspect is wanted for, well, here we go. Things might be changing up a little bit. That vehicle slowing down. She's probably thinking to myself, should have got gas before I picked this guy up. Maybe. Let's see what's going on. Up, the door's opening up. Doors opening up. Oop, 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 don't. Oh, that was, wow, okay. And she's out walking, and he's out running. There we go. And making his way through the houses this way. We're going to keep an eye on him. Somebody running out of the way. Yeah. Look at that. Did you see that? That was a some civilian was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I don't blame him. Just keeping running there. Well, you know, I'm getting tired just watching this guy run. This is exhausting, and he's just keeping it up. Now, LAPD, I can tell you that they are calling it out right now. I'm just saying a little bit wider. You can see a number of those officers running right there. You'd think one of them would have brought the car, but at any rate, making a turn. Hopefully, he doesn't try to get into somebody's house. Oh, please don't get into somebody's house. Let's get a little closer. He's moving around. He's moving around. Up. He got folks getting out of the way. You know, maybe this is somebody's house that they know, maybe not. We're going to see if that garage door is open. Officers definitely have their guns out, but you can see that the residents of this house knew what was going on pretty much. They didn't seem any kind of excited about what was happening right there, just kind of leisurely walking away. I'm going to kind of grab a picture of them real quick. Yeah, they're probably just like, oh, man. So definitely guns are out, and I'm going to stay a little bit wider. I really have a feeling this is going to end well, but I just don't want to see anything happen unfortunate right now. We just don't know, but this suspect definitely has their hands out. But like I said, they are going to treat this like it is an armed suspect. There is no doubt about that. After that long run, you know this guy's got to be winded. LAPD, they must be winded as well. But they've got to keep their composure. There they go. There they go. There they go. Making that move, taking this guy into custody. That's right. And the females, the driver of that vehicle, she got out, kind of walked for a little bit, and I can almost guarantee you they took that guy, that woman into custody almost right away. We can double check, but right now this person going into custody right here on Kaywood. This is going to be on Kaywood, the 22,900 block of Kaywood. That's where this suspect in custody now after a long run, couple of vehicles. And then that unfortunate crash into that really expensive Audi. That was a beautiful car. Hopefully that driver's going to be okay. I'm sure he's not injured, but that car definitely took a nice hit from that avalanche earlier on. But this suspect now in custody after a long, long pursuit. And there was I would believe that was a woman driver that got out earlier on and was taken into custody, and this is the suspect from the back seat. But yeah, definitely was a very, very long pursuit. Skyfox is a thirsty bird for sure. We're really getting close to our 2-hour limit. Hopefully we can have enough fuel to get back to Van Nuys. But this is the type of pursuit that we love to cover out here, for sure. Nobody injured and very little damage to any property, but definitely nobody hurt today, and that is the big plus. All right, Dylan, can we get back to Van Nuys? Yes. Hey, TOC, since I got a moment right now, I think there's a mix-minus issue. I could barely hear Marla, and I was getting that stadium echo that when I was talking. I'm just letting you guys know. Yeah, please, let's get out of here. That was something, huh? Yes, I am. Okay. But the, the the IFB was like super low. Like I had it all the way cranked up, and I could barely hear her. It, like we kept when they did the